on to Wednesday night. And happy birthday if you was born today. Happy anniversary if you got married on the 14th. Yesterday, Tuesday, around 7 to 8 o'clock in Austin, Indiana, which is probably 10 miles north of me, I think. It's just past Scottsburg a few miles. There was a bad car wreck in Austin, Indiana, which is part of Scott County, Indiana. A 4-year-old child was killed in that car wreck. It happened there at 31 and 256, I think it is, in Austin, Indiana yesterday, involving 2 vehicles. And I don't know what their names is and all that, but I want you all to send prayers out to that family in Austin, Indiana, or Scott County, Indiana. That'd be better. It killed a 4-year-old child. I would say, since it's been a while since I've been up there, that somebody ran the stoplight. What I've found out so far, somebody was speeding. And what I've read online where this happened, Austin Police Department just sit there on their rear end and don't do anything. People speeding, it's a little town. It got a dollar store, and I think it got a Huck's, and I don't know what else. But those police department in Austin, Indiana, all they do is sit on their butt in a parking lot. People speeding by. I don't know if Austin has a mayor or what. I say they probably do. And that is wrong. That a 4-year-old child got killed because somebody was speeding, and the Austin Police Department in Indiana don't give a blankety blank you know what. And I heard the helicopters flying over. One helicopter landed at the Scottsburg High School there in Scottsburg for one person or maybe 2. I don't know how many a helicopter can transport. Then another one helicopter landed, I guess, close to where the wreck was and took him to U of L Hospital over in Louisville. Let me get my cell phone out and see if it made the news, which I don't watch the news because it upsets me. And let's see if I can find the TV station. Let's try WLKY. It's about 7 degrees outside. Well, they said it was a 6-year-old girl. It says the mother could face charges. It is on WLKY TV, people.
Need new floors fast? Nice Floors is ready for you. We have over 100 colors of waterproof vinyl planking.
New tonight, a mother could face charges after her 6-year-old child was killed in a crash in southern Indiana. The preliminary state police investigation shows a speeding car ran a red light and hit a car at an intersection in Scott County. 2 people in the car that was hit were taken to the hospital and are expected to survive. Police say the speeding driver's 6-year-old died. The mother, a 2-year-old, and a front seat passenger all went to the hospital but should be okay. ISP believes that alcohol may have been a factor and the 6-year-old may not have been properly secured.
Okay, you heard that. That was on WLKY TV there in Louisville,
Get a
Kentucky.
fresh view.
You know, you can look it up on WLKY TV. I'm going to read it, what it says. ISP, Indiana State Police. 6-year-old killed, 5 injured in Southern Indiana crash. Mother could face charges. It was updated at 7:09 today's date. A mother could facing charges after a 6-year-old child was killed in a crash in Southern Indiana Tuesday. It was about 8:42. I knew that was somewhere around 7, 8 o'clock, but this is what it says on WLKY News. Austin police respond to State Road 256 and US 31 around 8:42 p.m. Tuesday about a multiple vehicle crash. Indiana State Police said in a primary investigation showed cars are heading west on 256 had the green light when another vehicle, which had the red light, hit them. ISP said the car ran the red light was speeding. See, I didn't get that wrong. I told you they were speeding. And they do that all the time up there. And the cops just sit there where they sit there in the parking lot and don't give a crap. Okay, let's get back to the story. The driver and passenger in the car that was hit was taken to the hospital and expected to survive, police said. A woman driving the car at fault for the crash had a 6-year-old, 2-year-old in the back seat. Police said that the 6-year-old died while the 2-year-old was taken to the hospital. But it don't say what hospital. I don't know if they took him to Scott County or Children's Hospital in Louisville, Kentucky. Police has not released any other information about the 6-year-old girl died. The mother and the passenger in the front of her car was also taken to the hospital and treated for non-life-threatening injuries. Indiana State Police, they said ISP, that stands for Indiana State Police, believes alcohol may have been a factor, but they're waiting for the toxicology results, the blood work. They also working to determine if the 6-year-old child was properly secure. You know, these car seats, they are safe. But sometimes people, you know, if you got kids, they will undo the belt. And that does happen. It does happen. And let's say prayers for that 6-year-old child, which is going to have to go through an autopsy in Louisville, Kentucky, because that's where the coroner is. Because in Indiana, the way the law reads, people, a coroner is not a doctor in the state of Indiana. I wish they changed that law where to run for a coroner's office, it's an elected office, that you have to be a doctor. And I want you all to help me change that law that Indiana or any other state in the United States that the coroner has to be a doctor. I've seen some people that they rule suicide, it was murder, and the coroners here in Indiana can be undertakers. I could be a coroner, but I wouldn't want to be a coroner. I want you all to think about it. Anybody who lives in Indiana, let's change that law. Write whoever you have to write to in Indianapolis. I don't know, state representative. Let's change it. Let's do that. That a coroner has to be a doctor to run for the office. Let's get back to the story. Police said the mother could face in charges, but nothing has been filed yet. The CPS, I'm making it short, is conducting an investigation into the case as well. So this
If you have arthritis and wonder what food could be doing to your joints, watch this.
People, this is on WLKY TV. You can type it into your search engine and do that.
I get asked all the time.
And I'm going to try to see if it's on WLKY. I don't think this is it.
When they dared, the world changed. Dare to dream. Dare to defy. Don't miss Brilliant Exiles, American Women in Paris at the Speed Art Museum.
Tonight at 6, a judge refuses to set bond for a Charlestown man accused of killing his wife. Police say Taylor Meyer choked his wife, Deborah, and stabbed her during a fight at their house on Valentine's Day. According to court documents, he admitted the couple had marital problems. In court today, his attorney questioned police about whether Meyer's wife had attacked him because he took her cell phone.
Why does the evidence disprove that and show that it could not have been that? Of all things, it couldn't have been her attacking him.
If somebody's being attacked, especially by an able-bodied human being, I would expect there to be some manner of injury to the individual. I didn't observe that, and it's not what was documented at the time via photographs.
As of right now, Meyer is scheduled to stand trial in July.
Okay, people. This is also on WLKY News.
It came for what you needed.
Okay, Charlestown, Indiana. But some of it includes Jeffersonville. It depends where it is in Charlestown. Police said Taylor Meyer, Meyer, stabbed his wife, Deborah, to death during a fight at their Charleston home on Valentine's Day of 2025. The couple, 3 young children, was at home when the stabbing happened, but they were not hurt. According to court records, Mars, Meyer, said they would have a medical marriage problems. A court Wednesday, which is today, attorney questioned police whether the wife had attacked him because he took her cell phone. That could be a possibility, people. That could be a possibility. That does happen on this planet. Why does the evidence prove that? So you cannot could not have been that. Of all things, he couldn't have been her attacking him, asked Mars' attorney. It says Indiana judge ordered mental health examined for a man accused of killing his wife. You know, this is in Indiana. The car wreck that killed a 6-year-old boy happened in Indiana. And this guy killed his wife back on Valentine's Day. I remember something about it in February. Okay, let's get back to that story. Police said there was no visible signs of injury to Myers, M-E-Y-E-R. Somebody being attacked, especially able-bodied human being, expect there to be some kind of manner of injury to that individual. I didn't observe that, not what was documented at the time. The VIA photograph says Jefferson Police Department Justin Salisbury, Salisbury. Following Wednesday hearing, a judge denied Mars' request to be released OR, on his own good looks, or have bail set. The judge ruled Miles as a poaching flight risk and a danger to the community. As of now, Meyer is set for trial in July. Remember, people, you're innocent until proven guilty. But the law don't work that way. You're guilty until you prove yourself innocent. And there's something else that happened this week. Okay, this happened 2 to 3 years ago, not too far from me, in Henryville, Indiana, on Brownstown Road. It says trial scheduled for man charged in his girlfriend Henryville shooting death. This is all on WLKY TV. Okay.
Bourbon was born in Kentucky, and for 250 years, we've distilled it, barreled it, and bottled it. Now you can scratch it, print it, and tap it. Play Kentucky Bourbon Trail games from the Kentucky Lottery to win cash prizes and bourbon experiences.
A man arrested for murdering his girlfriend in Clark County more than 2 years ago was in court for the first time this morning.
The break in the cold case came this week with the arrest of 33-year-old Derek Pixley. He was arraigned today and is now being held without bond. He's charged with the murder in connection with the death of Brittany Bowman. She was shot on Brownstown Road in Henryville back in October of 2022 and died 2 months later. Troopers with the state police cold case unit arrested Pixley Monday after taking over the investigation from Clark County. He's due back in court next month.
Okay, this happened. It happened about 2 to 3.
Bryant has been in business since 1940. We're one of the few family-owned and operated HVAC companies.
This happened about 2 to 3 years ago on Brownstown Road. It says a Southern Indiana man is charged with murder of his girlfriend more than 2 years ago after her death. A trial is scheduled. I'm going to spell his name. Derek, D-E-R-E-K Pixley, 33, was charged in a 2022 cold case of Brittany Bowman, B-O-M-A-N, being held without bond. His trial is set to start in September, while a pre-trial conference is set for June the 10th. You people know what pretrials are. If you ever been arrested or had somebody in your family, okay. It's scheduled for June the 10th. Pixley family was in court as he appeared before a judge. He could be seen turning to them to see if he should get a public defender or a private attorney. Knowing the Pixley family, they got money if they're the same ones that I know. One used to be a cop in Charlestown, but I forget. I want to say maybe his name was Doug Pixley. I'm not sure. Was a Charlestown cop. This could be his son. I don't know. And it said the charges Pixley faced carries a possible 45 to 65-year in prison sentence. His court-appointed attorney said an affidavit doesn't have enough details on that case, stating that from 22 until January the 25th, there wasn't any information that Constitution proved that he said there are suspicious but not probable cause. The prosecutor said in the case, the affidavit print clear pictures from the witness that Pixley murdered Bowman. But people remember, everybody is innocent. Indiana State Police said she was shot around Brownstown Road in Henryville. I don't know if it's on the west side or the east side. When I take a trip to Charlestown on Fridays, I take the east side of Brownstown Road. And it said documents said she was found by Pixley, who was her boyfriend at the time. More details in the case. The document says he knocked at the stranger's back door that night and said, somebody shot my girlfriend, grab your gun. Bowman, B-O-M-A-N, was taken to U of L Hospital for treatment. She was in the hospital until she died from her injury followed in December. Detectives told WLKY years ago that while Bowman was talking with investigators at the hospital, she refused to cooperate. New documents show that she told police she was hiding from Pixley in the woods when she was shot because when he was mad, he was unpredictable, but she couldn't see who shot her. But Pixley was with her when she woke up. People, that's the three important things. It happened here in southern Indiana. Remember, all person is innocent. You know, you have the right to confront your accuser. She's dead. And I just read to you from the statement that she gave police before she died. She did not know who shot her. And I don't think they have a case. I keep you up to date on this. You know, he has a public defender. And the way I understand Indiana law, I could be wrong. A public defender who takes on a murder case has to be where he or she have to have past experience in murder cases. And a public defender is not that good in the state of Indiana, at least not Clark County. All they worrying about is the money. You know, the quicker they get it over, the quicker they get another idiot. I'm sorry, people. I know you're not idiots. If you can afford an attorney, you'd be better off. This is all on WLKY. If you don't believe me, let's go to the other WDRB and see what I can find. You know, I was told it was a 4-year-old girl that was killed, but the news station says it was a 6-year-old girl. Let me show you where the accident happened. That's where it happened, people. So this happened Tuesday night around 8 o'clock in that time frame. It happened at 8:42 p.m. at the intersection of 256 and 31. I believe, because it's been a long time since I've been up that way, that 265 West runs over to 65, I believe. Investigators said Toyota Camry was heading west on 256 and entered the intersection on the green light to turn on US 31. As the vehicle turned, a Chrysler 300 that was heading north on US 31 disregarded the red light and entered the intersection without stopping, said Sergeant Hales. HULS said collided with the Toyota. Hales said the driver and the passenger in Toyota was transported U of L hospital and expected to survive. A woman driving the Chrysler was transported to Norton Scott County Hospital in Scottsburg with injuries not to be life-threatening. A front passenger in the vehicle was also taken to U of L hospital and expected to survive. The 2-year-old in the back seat of the Chrysler was taken to Norton Scott County Hospital and expected to survive their injury. However, the 6-year-old girl in the back seat was taken to Norton Scott Hospital where she later died. The ISP crash reconstruction team was requested and taken over the investigation, which remained ongoing. As HULS said, part of the investigation includes determining whether the 6-year-old was secure in the vehicle properly. The Indiana Department of Child Service is conducting their own investigation. Police believes alcohol was a factor in the class, and they're waiting on a toxicology. People, you heard me time and time over. Have you a dash cam? Maybe the one that her child got killed, maybe she had the green light. I don't know. I wasn't there. That's how come you need a dash cam. I've told you over and over. Could the other car run the red light? I don't know. If you look at the picture I show you at the beginning of it, there's probably cameras at that intersection. Since I think that was a gas station, they usually has cameras on the outside. I don't know. And remember, everybody is innocent in any kind of cases. But you see why I keep telling you all to get a dash cam. Maybe this young mother who lost her 6-year-old daughter, maybe she had the green light. I don't know. I can't say I wasn't there. But that could be a possibility. That's why I keep telling you all for the past year, get you a dash cam. Because you can get T-boned at something like that. Another person going to say they had the green light. Another person say they have the green light. I don't know who had the green light. I got my doubts, but I know the place, they do speed through that intersection. And the Austin Police Department sits there and don't do a blankety blank thing. And I feel sorry for the mother. I hope she wasn't drinking. She could have a cold and took some cough medicine. Anytime you take cough medicine, people, it's going to have alcohol. Anytime you take cough drops, it might have alcohol in it. Please, people, get you a dash cam where you can record when you're driving. Just in this case, maybe this young mother, maybe she had the green light. That could be a 50-50, tipped of the scales. We don't know who had the green light. I don't know if the other two people had a dash cam. But the Indiana State Police says the other one had the green light. That's how they usually do that, people. That person says they had the green light, could have been a VIP in Scott County. I don't know. That's how come I want you to protect yourself. Have a dash cam. You saw this car wreck that a 6-year-old girl died last night around between 8 and 9 o'clock in Scott County Hospital. And now you see why I want you all to get a dash cam. I don't know who had the green light. The one supposedly ran the stoplight. If she would have had a dash cam, maybe she had the green light. I don't know. I wasn't there. You wasn't there. I don't know the whole story behind it. And please, people, get you a dash cam. Or get you a mount where you can put your cell phone up there and hit your thing where you can film it when you're out driving. You don't have to do it live. You just can film it. So that's what I want to do. So let's put the kitty cat up there. That's Mama Blackie. Okay, I got up this morning about 6 o'clock, took the cat tower in the bedroom, and you people like Sherry knows that you put a cat tower or something there, that kitty cats is going to look at it like, what is this? What do I do? You know, like they're scared of it. And that's what they did this morning. And Kathy, that's the yellow female cat. She been sleeping in I guess the third story. It's big enough. She slept in it all day. Now, it was her and her sister, Nancy, was in it. They both came out and ate. Now, Alexi's in there with Kathy, two of them sleeping. Blackie's in the penthouse. You know, it's like a little round stool with a rail around it that she was sleeping. You know, Wildcat been up there. Margaret, she's kind of doing her cold shower dance, if you all know what I mean. If you had female cats, you know what I'm talking about. But I find out when I go to sleep tonight, see if they are in bed with me or Kathy's underneath the blanket. My air condition kicked on because I had it sitting at 77. It got hot in here, so it's cooling down where I could sleep good tonight. I like it cool when I sleep. So those pictures, you might just coming in here. Everybody is innocent until proven guilty. The one supposedly shot his wife, and you see what I read on WLKY, WDRB. That's your Louisville TV station for this area. And you heard from what the state police says when I was reading it to you, that she did not see who shot her. And, you know, did he shoot her? I don't know. But I know the Pixley family, the very good people. And if that's the same family I know that used to live around Sellersburg on 31 at 31 and Highway 60, had a garage. They done front end alignment and worked on cars back in the 60s and 70s. They had a son named Doug, who was, I think that's his name, Doug Pixley, who was a Charlestown cop, went to the police academy. You know, it was him, Butch Masingo, Eddie McDonald, Givens, Danaport, and a bunch of other old-time cops back in those days. And I don't know if this Pixley any kin to him. But you have the right, you people that been in jail, or you know people that been in jail, and you commit a crime, and they die maybe weeks later, months later, not from a gunshot wound, maybe a heart attack, you have the right to confront the person who accused you. As I read to you from WDRB, which is channel 41, out of Louisville, Kentucky. She said she did not know who shot her. She didn't say her husband shot her or anything like that. And so that'd be a catch 22. You know, I'm not the judge. I'm not the jury. I'm not Jesus. I'm not God. Only Jesus and God knows the truth. And I'm going to cut this short tonight. I had to bring it up about the car accident that a 6-year-old child died from it. And make sure you all get your dash cam in case something like this happens. And you all know about car seats. Some of them good car seats, but people, you all know how kids would do. They reach down there to unbuckle it. And it depends if they got T-bone, because the seat belts will come on latch if you're in a car wreck. They will do it. I've seen it. I'm 70 plus years old. I've seen too many car wrecks. Seat belts, if you get hit the right direction, your seat belt will come undone. So let's send prayers out to all these people. You know, the 6-year-old person that died last night in a car wreck up in Austin, Indiana, which is in Scott County, Indiana. I told you the TV station, WLKY TV and WDRB TV. And you can read it for yourself. And this is local news, people. There's no weekly newspaper. They didn't bring it yesterday. I went back today. No paper. So I called them, said they said it was delivered yesterday. I said, I was there at 2:30 and there was no paper. I called them after I left the dollar store today and told them. They said, well, we make sure it gets there today. I got there at 3 o'clock and still no newspaper. And I don't know why. They got a new person on that route. Either he didn't stop or what. I just don't know. But I did call Scott County newspaper in Indiana. They're just past the JC store, I believe, on the left. And so let you know. And another thing, I had Walgreens call me the other day about one of my prescriptions. People, I'm type 2 diabetes. I take Ozempic. I get 3 months supply. I've been getting 1 month's supply the last three months. And I told the lady that I talked to from Walgreens, I said my subscription was set up for 3 months supply. Then you all came up and said, we can only give you 1 month's supply. But I've checked with other drugstores, JC stores, CVS. They got plenty of it. For some reason, Walgreens can't get it because they use it for fat people to lose weight. I'm a diabetic. I need it more than the fat people does. I'm sorry to insult you all. But as a diabetic, I need that. I need 3 months supply. Because there are times I don't get out, especially in the wintertime. If it snows, I ain't getting out, people. I'm staying put. So I want to thank you all who watch it later. I hope you got enjoyment out of me showing you the wreck from the TV station and the 2 murder cases. One that happened back in February of this year on Valentine's Day. Then another one in Henryville on Brownstown Road, which is south of me. I don't know if it's on the west side of Brownstown Road, that's the way I take on Fridays when I go to Charlestown, because that saves me about 5 miles, if I take the shortcut. Or I don't know if it's on the east side. It didn't say what block of it. I should remember it since it happened about 3 miles from me, give or take a little. So I'm just letting you know, it did rain a little bit this morning. The ground was a little water soaked. I was going to work on my ditch line out in front by my front porch, use my rotary tiller and dig a ditch out to the creek. I can't do it because it's wet. Then I was going to take that dirt out of the ditch and put it in the wheelbarrow and fill some of my front yard in. Then in my yard out there where you see it flooded on the west side of my house, I was going to cut out about a 23-inch width of ditch line to help the water disappear. And do that. But it has to be dry. I look in my planter, which I got sitting on top of my garbage can. I plant some white radishes in it. They're starting to pop up. I look in the garden, but I planted these in that planter a week before I got to the garden. So thank you all. Let's get back to my camera. And but I hate McPhee. It kept popping up. So people, you all have a great week. I love you all. Peace. Catch you all later. But people, you might forgot about Jesus and God, but they have not forgotten about you. So you all have a great Thursday tomorrow. Remember, I won't be on here Friday. I take Mondays and Fridays off. And God bless you all. Let's send prayers out to that family who lost that 6-year-old child yesterday around 8:30, 9 o'clock last night. And so thank you all for joining me. You all have a great week. If you're still in the school tomorrow, watch out for the yellow school buses out there on the road, especially when they put the stop bar mark out. make sure you get a dash cam, because like the wreck that killed a 6-year-old child last night, maybe if they had a dash cam, it would show maybe that they had the green light. We don't know how come the state police said the other car had a green light. I don't know. Unless it's a VIP person who's pretty well liked in Scott County. This is all over the planet, people. You got people like this all over the planet. I'm still looking for a girlfriend in Scott County, Indiana. Because like I tell you, they're real nice. They're polite. Everybody who lives in Scott County is polite. So God bless you. I catch you later. I try to keep you updated on these 3 cases, the 2 murder cases. See, both of them is in Clark County. And the person that was involved in the car wreck in Scott County last night where a 6-year-old child was killed. And, please, people, please get you a dash cam. Just in the case you get in a wreck like that. It will protect you. You don't have to do a live stream. You can record it on your cell phone. Get your cell phone bracket where you can set up and hit your camera and the video where you can record when you're driving, just to protect you and your family. So good night. I catch you all later. You all have a great evening. Happy birthday. Happy anniversary. I love you all. Good night and good evening.